set up everything a little differently. Whoops. So this is number 262 YouTube Live yoga routine. And I'm going to have to Mr. Rogers this. I tried to change the pictures around to see how it looks. This is over here, usually over there, and that's usually over here. Doesn't matter because eventually I'm going to change everything around. And I don't know if I'll stay here doing yoga in my living room. I don't know. Hopefully not. Well, who knows? I'm just going with the flow with this. And I'm just some guy named Charlie doing yoga. And hopefully people will eventually follow along. Of course, I'm doing yoga anyways, so it would be cool to have others follow along. And that's one reason I'm doing this for 365 days. That is one of the goals. I don't want to be by myself all the time. But I am. That's cool. So today, what I want to talk about is staying in oneness between the yoga poses in the transition. So when you're going from one pose to the next pose, you want to keep that oneness as you transition. So for example, if you're in the downward dog and you're in oneness, you become one with the pose and you've tapped into this capital O oneness, aka doing yoga. Then you're going to transition into the next pose, which will be the upward dog. But as you transition, you're going to bring that oneness from that one pose, keep it in the transition, and then keep it in the upward dog. The oneness stays all the time, even as you transition. And this is difficult to do because when you're in one pose and you're in oneness within that pose, when you transition, you're moving. So you think you're trying. You have this sense of effort to go into the next pose. But you let that effort go. You let that trying go. You let that concept of trying to be somewhere go. You just stay in the oneness. And if you feel that effort and that trying to go into the next pose, and you can't let it go, then you accept that you can't let it go. And that acceptance alone will allow you to stay in oneness. And this is important to understand because on the mat, we're going from one pose to the next pose, bringing the oneness to the next pose, staying in the oneness throughout the entire yoga routine. So when you're off the mat, you're doing the same exact thing. You're doing one activity. Say you're at home, you're doing the dishes at home, and you look at the clock, you're like, oh man, gotta get ready for work. So that activity of oneness while doing the dishes continues as you go get ready. And then as you get ready, you're in oneness still. And then you go to the car or whatever. Then you go to work. And then you go to lunch, then you work, and you come home, but the entire time, the oneness threads through. And you're learning how to do that in your everyday life, not separating all your activities up as, man, I'm at home, now I'm at work, and now I'm here, there. That's how it looks from the outside, but if everything's one, capital O, one, then there's just oneness. And you're realizing that on the yoga mat. And that's what you're learning on the yoga mat. And there's peace in that. And there's peace in that because even when you're at work and something comes up and it's a difficult task or your boss is kind of off-putting today, you know, hey, I'm in oneness. Did I do something? Hey, I'll go talk to him or her. It's all right, man. And then the boss yells at you, like, yo. No, I'm just joking about that part. But you're keeping oneness the entire time. But if the boss does yell at you, that's what you're learning on the yoga mat too. That's a negativity. He or she can't express themselves without yelling. And that's cool. But that's their negativity, and you keep it over there. And that's what you're learning on the yoga mat too. So when you're focused on the breathing, for example, in a pose, and you feel an ache somewhere, maybe you have an injury, say in the knee, and you feel it, you're aware of that injury, just like you're aware of your boss's negativity. You're aware of that injury, but you don't let that injury become you. So you don't focus on it. You're focusing on the breathing, but you're aware of it. You take care of it. You handle it. You adjust it. Same with your boss's yelling. Keep it over there. It doesn't become you. You handle it. You take care of it, but it never becomes part of you. That's part of yoga. I didn't mean to speak about that part, but that's true too. So everything we're learning on the yoga mat is, where's my phone? Is to benefit you off the yoga mat. So let me go find my phone. Don't know where it is. Oh yeah, I do. See, I have the light. See how I've been down? I have an umbrella right there. I was trying to get the light correct. And I need to get a picture here. I would hang these up. My wife yesterday told me I could hang this up, but I know she doesn't mean it. I mean, she means it, and I can do it, but I kind of don't want to hang it up, actually. All right, so how to make yoga videos. Do the opposite of what I'm doing, and boom, they'll be professional. Just joking. So today we're going to do our 2-minute breathing exercise, sitting breathing meditation, where you're focused on your breathing, 100% focus on your breathing. And you do that by watching the belly. As you inhale, the belly expands. When you exhale, the belly goes up. You watch that. You're already breathing automatically, so you just let it happen and just watch it. Don't control it. What'll happen, most likely, is your mind will wander, and you'll start to think about other things. And when you realize, hey, I'm not thinking about my breathing, then you bring your focus back to the breathing and just watch it. And those thoughts that you think dissolve. The notion of a self, of who you think you are, and the notion of a you who's watching your breathing dissolves. It's all thoughts. Even the notion of a watcher dissolves. And what happens is that the you, when it dissolves, becomes the watching. And even the watching dissolves, and you become the energy that's watching. So we're going to go to the sitting pose, breathing, and we'll stand up. And this is an important part of the transition. When we are standing up, I'm going to push my pillow to the side. Even during that transition, even though it's not a flow, it's not so-called part of the yoga routine, which it is, but it doesn't look like it, you're keeping your focus on the breathing. You're allowing that oneness to continue. And then we're going to go to mountain pose, 2 sun salutations, and back to a mountain pose. I'm going to find my pillow. Okay? I thought I was on time today. My pillow. I got to bend down. Maybe that's not a good spot. I did think of this. If Zoe, who's just chilling right here, gets up, she won't have anywhere to go. She could probably go there. I should probably knock over the picture or the light. Then when one of these lights fall, they all fall like dominoes. I've done it before. I'm fixing something, that light falls. I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. So, remember, focus 100% on the breathing. Think of nothing else but of the breathing. Now we're going to easy pose. Easy pose is the modification of the lotus pose. Back is straight, hands are in front, so your palms are to your knees, maybe in your lap, maybe you're leaning back. It's the easy pose, so just get comfortable so you can stay focused on the breathing. And just watch yourself breathe. Let the you dissolve, let the watcher dissolve, become one, and just watch yourself breathe. 2 minutes. Bring the palms together. Thumbs to the heart center. Go ahead and bring yourself up. And this is where you're keeping the oneness. You're staying in the present moment, even as you're standing. It's not flowing, looking. It doesn't matter because the flow is a mentality. So feet or shoulder width apart. Mountain pose. Toes go up. Spread the toes as wide as you can. And each toe touches the floor one at a time. Knees are bent, hips are tilted, arms are relaxed, shoulders are relaxed. You're just focusing on the breathing. Now in the mountain pose, you're going to lengthen up. So think of the skeleton, bring the skeleton up, lengthen yourself up, then let the bones sit on top of each other. And let the skeleton stand as if you were just your skeleton. So you're finding that stability that allows the skeleton to stand. Become that stability and let that stability transfer to the mind, and the mind becomes stable. You are the stability, capital S, stability, that allows the mind and body to become one. In a roundabout way, is the link that threads through the mind and body, allowing them to become one. They're already one. So you're just realizing the oneness. Continue to watch yourself breathe. Bring the palms together, thumbs to the heart center. Push the arms out, up and back. Inhale slowly. It's the first stretch, so go nice and easy. And then exhale. As you exhale, you hinge forward from the lower back. Back stays straight. You're going all the way down, and then you can fall right into ragdoll. And with the ragdoll, the arms are dangling, head is dangling. No tension anywhere. So if you feel any tension, just give it your own mental command to release and just become one with the pose. Letting go. Just let the body fall where the body falls. Accept where the body falls. Again, with the arms dangled, the head dangles. Palms to the calves, elbows into the sides of the legs. You're going to arch the back, raise the head. Inhale. Inhale as much as you can. Arching as much as you can. And then exhale. As you exhale, you pull yourself in and down. Forehead's going to the knees. Get all the air out. All the air leaves. And again, arch the back. Raise the head. Inhale. Then exhale, pull yourself in and down, get all the air out. Push all the air out, all the air leaves. And again, arch the back. Raise the head, inhale. And then exhale, pull yourself in and down. Exhale, get all the air out, all the air leaves. And now just hold the pose. Release the breathing. And let yourself breathe. Now, you are pulling yourself in and down. Forehead's going to the knees. But once you're settled, you're accepting and you're focusing on the breathing. And that effort of pulling yourself in and down releases, and it becomes one with the pose. Just focus on the breathing. Palms to the sides of the feet. Left leg is back into a low lunge. With the low lunge, top of the foot to the floor. Knees to the floor. Hips are square, pushing forward diagonally. Back is arching. Head is up. And then you just let go. Become one with the pose. So the effort of trying to be somewhere releases. Didn't exist even in the transition, but it's hard to do that because there's oneness. That's all that exists. But you let go of being in the pose. And you just accept that you are in the pose. So the effort, the tension, the struggling, the trying, let go of all that. That's control. Letting go of control. Just accept. You become one with the pose. Very important. It's easy to learn this in theory. It's easy to learn this when you're just sitting down. It's more difficult to learn it as you move and as you go into a pose, because naturally you're trying to go into the pose. Nope, let all that go. Let all that go. Man, my hair keeps on itching my face. I need to get a haircut. I will. Thought about getting one last Friday, but Friday came and went. So curl the toes under the back, in the back, at the back. Get the leg as straight as you can. High lunge, just for a second or so, then move into the downward dog. Keeping the oneness, letting that be the thread throughout the entire yoga routine. Now you are pushing yourself in this pose. This is the downward dog. Arms are straight, legs are straight, tailbones to the ceiling, heels are towards the floor, no tension in the neck, so the head dangles. Now, although you're pushing yourself in the pose, remember that pushing, that effort, that trying dissolves. You're settling, accepting, focus on the breathing. Letting the body become one with the pose. Now, just like I was talking about in the beginning, the transition is oneness too. So you have this oneness in the downward dog. You're one with the pose. Now be one with the transition, keeping the oneness as you move into the upward dog. So you can drop down to the knees and the chest. Stay one, focusing on the breathing, and then slide up to upward dog. And then settling and focusing on the breathing only. Now, if this is too much, you're going to go right to the small cobra. Chest is off the floor, palms are touching the floor, but you're not using them. You're not pushing up. You're pulling up. So even if you're in the upward dog and you feel like, man, I need to go release some of this and go down to the small cobra. It's all right. It's yoga, man. You accept that and you go into it. It's all about acceptance, capital A, acceptance. Once you accept, you'll tap into yoga. You'll become yoga. Then downward dog. Pushing into it. Keeping the oneness. It is focusing on the breathing. Now, transition to the dolphin, keeping the oneness. Just bring yourself down to hands and knees, down to the elbows, palms together, all staying in the oneness, still focusing on the breathing. You're aware of what's happening, but you're not becoming what's happening. You're staying in the oneness. Palms together, push yourself up and back. Now with the dolphin, you push the palms together as much as you can. Shoulder blades space out. And I know I'm talking into the floor. It's all good, man. Now push the palms together a little bit more. Go into the pose a little bit more. If you feel like you should. If you feel like you shouldn't, then don't. And now keep the oneness. Going into the transition. Down to the knees. Back to hands and knees. And back to downward dog. Pushing into it. You're settling in the downward dog. Accepting where you are. Just focus on the breathing. Staying in the oneness. Now the transition is to the low lunge. So bring the left foot up. Staying in the oneness. Left foot goes up. Staying in the oneness. Capital O oneness is just yoga. All I'm saying is stay within yoga. Be yoga the entire time. So with the back foot, the top of the foot to the floor, knees to the floor, hips are square, pushing forward, back is arching, head is up, and you're into the pose. You're settling, accepting, and just focus on the breathing. Thinking of nothing else but of the breathing. Now with the back foot, curl the toes under, knee goes up, high lunge. Not going to stay here long, but settle into it. And then standing forward bend. Keep the oneness as you move into the standing forward bend. Palms to the calves, elbows into the sides of the legs. Pull yourself in and down. All there is out. And then you're just releasing, watching yourself breathe. And then palms together, reach out, up and back, inhale. Turn the palms out, push the air down and out, and exhale. Whoa, almost got my picture over, dude. And palms together. That'd been bad. Picture cost me $100. I had a friend do it for me. Well, not my friend, my wife's friend. She drew it. She would have done it for free, but I gave her $100. So you're in mountain pose, staying in oneness. So technically, even when I was about to hit my picture, if I was not talking, I would have been aware of it and then came back. That's what we were learning on the yoga mat. When you're in a pose, your mind wanders, or a sitting meditation, your mind wanders. You realize it, you just bring it back. That's the yoga routine. Yoga routine is not controlling the mind to not be a monkey mind. It's recognizing that your mind is the monkey mind. And then letting it go back out of the illusion that it's a monkey mind. Nope, there's just oneness. So now we're going to do one more sun salutation. But we're going to go faster. And we're going to go into each pose. Inhaling as you open up. Inhale as much as you can in these poses. And then going into the pose as much as you can. Then the next pose is going to be a counter pose. It's going to be the exhaling pose, enclosed pose. Go into it as much as you can. Exhale as much as you can. And then the next pose. And then just focus on that breathing. Let the sun salutation become one big capital P pose in a sense. It's not really. But let it just be oneness. Let it flow. Let everything not link together, but the link is part of the oneness. So keep your focus on the breathing. That's demanding. Keep the focus on the breathing. So, mountain pose. Feet are shoulder width apart. Toes go up. Spread the toes as much as you can. Each toe touches the floor one at a time. Knees are bent, hips are tilted. Find that stability in the mountain pose. And that stability continues throughout the entire routine. So even in the mountain pose, you're stable. You may move a little bit, but you're going with the movement. And then you just make it seem bigger when you're staying in the stability as you're doing the sun salutations. So palms together, thumbs to the heart center. Push the arms out, up and back. I don't know what that is. Inhale. Then exhale as you hinge forward, reaching out, palms to the calves, elbows into the sides of the legs. Push all there out. Get all there out. The left leg is back. Opening up. Inhale. Inhale as much as you can. Then downward dog. Exhale. Get all there out. Inhale, upward dog. Focus on the breathing. Downward dog. Exhale. Get all there out. Left foot is up. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale. Stand forward bend. Get all there out. Palms together. Reach out. Up and back. Inhale. And then exhale. Man, I almost got my picture over again. I put it there. And then back to mountain pose. All right, I gotta find that clock or watch. Tell me my daughter's phone. It is. I don't know. I don't know how to do it. matter. Just to come. All right. So your mount pose, forget the beeping. Go with it. Let that be the yoga music that I've been wanting to get for the last 262 times. I need to find some yoga music. I'll figure it out in a second. So your mount pose, awareness is on the breathing. Remember, becoming that stability that stands the skeleton, transfers to the mind, and the mind becomes stable. And you become that capital S stability, which is just another word for yoga. These are all different words for yoga. Capital S stability. Realizing that the mind and body are one. They're already one. It's an illusion to think of them as separate. That's your philosophy. I'm not saying believe this. I'm just saying that's what it is. So just go focus on the breathing. I hear my daughter's phone beeping in the back. It's all good. It's all good. And just watch yourself breathe. Bring the palms together, thumbs to the heart center. That's it. That is number 262 YouTube Live Yoga Routine. Now I can find out how to cut the phone off. There's two phones sitting over there. I don't know which one's doing it. Listen. I don't know. Must be 6 o'clock. That's what it means. So I will see you tomorrow at 5:30 a.m. Arizona time, not Standard Time. So namaste. Peace and love.